called together this time as a moment of time for Northampton County to take care of its business. We certainly want to welcome all of you here tonight to join in with us. We appreciate your coming. You have an opportunity to speak if you so desire at the designated time. Again, that we're here to take care of the business of our county. As you know, that we are approaching the last few days of this fiscal year for the county to end at the end of this month. We begin a new fiscal year. Again, thank you all for coming and being a part of us. In the back of me, you see our mission statement. That's what we're all about. We're about doing all we can for our children, for our citizens. We want to do everything we possibly can to make Northampton County a better place. So what we do, we must do it with dignity, and we must do it thinking about what is best for the citizens. We also have a vision statement. The vision statement behind it talks about what it is that we want to do, because we understand that this is today, but we need to be talking about tomorrow. What will Northampton be 10 years from now, 20 years from now, when some of us will not be in the positions we're in now, or even be living. So it is not about now, it's about what's going to happen for the future of our county. And we as board members come tonight to tell you that when we look at what we do, we're not looking at today only, we're looking at what we can do for tomorrow. Board members, you have the order, the agenda before you that has been presented to you, and certainly hope that you have that, and as we go along that you will certainly note that we shall follow if we do approve the agenda. But before we get started and before we do anything, we need to always have a moment that we can reflect. So for a moment of reflection, I'm going to ask you just for a few moments, just have a moment that we can bow our heads if you so desire, and we have a moment of silence. Thank you so much. You know, we live in this United States of America, the best place in the world to live. We do have the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. For those of you who would like, we'd like for you to stand with us right now as we do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Board members, you do have before you the agenda for tonight's meeting. This is the agenda that we have. This is the agenda we shall follow. Board members, do you have any corrections that need to be made to this agenda? Or any correction? If not, then I'm going to ask at this time if you would give me a motion that we would approve the agenda that we have at this time for tonight.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the agenda as printed.
Second.
Moved and properly second that we approve our agenda as printed. Are there any questions, any discussion? If not, all in favor, let know by usual sign aye.
Aye.
I, Broadnax Taylor. I, Faulkner.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you, board members. Now, we do know that as we go through all the necessary things that we need to do for the county, we must also note that it cannot be personal. It cannot be for our own gains. So at this time, I'm going to ask our vice chairman if you will read for us the conflict of interest statement.
In accordance with the rules of procedures adopted by this board in section 153A44 of the North Carolina General Statutes, it is the duty of every member present to vote on all matters coming before the board unless there is a conflict of interest as determined by the board or by law. Does any board member have a conflict of interest with respect to any agenda item coming before the board? If so, please identify the conflict and the board will consider the matter.
Board members?
No conflict.
No conflicts. Broadnax Taylor. No conflict, Faulkner.
No conflict.
No conflict. And thank you, board members. We now are able to move right into our meeting, our agenda. First thing we have is a public hearing. This public hearing is on the Severn Conway Fire District. We're at this time, as a public hearing, we ask any citizens who want to speak on that issue to please come to the podium, give us your name, and when you come and state your position. County Attorney, will you explain to them what the Conway and Severn Fire District is about?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Mason, would you like to come forward? Tax Administrator, may I
Yes.
defer to her initially?
Yes.
Good evening.
Good
Tanisha
evening.
English From
Good evening.
Northampton County Tax Department. So Conway and Severn are asking to now have a fire district tax. Conway is asking for 7 cents on the dollar. Severn is asking for 5.5 cents on the $100. I'm sorry. And that's what we are here for today.
And just to follow that up, board members and members of the public, the statutes, in order to establish new fire districts under North Carolina law, there are reports that have to be prepared and mailed out to each affected citizen within the new proposed district. In your board package, you can see copies of those reports that were mailed at least 4 weeks prior to tonight's public hearing. There's a certification signed by Ms. Mason to that effect. And also before the board are 2 separate resolutions which would adopt the new fire districts. I also can confirm that both the town of Conway and the town of Severn have separately adopted resolutions in support of these new fire districts, and also agreeing that the town limits will be incorporated within those respective fire districts. So I can confirm to the board members that all prerequisites required under North Carolina law have been complied with. I'm happy to answer any initial questions.
Thank you. At this time, citizen, yes, sir, come to the podium, give us your name.
My name is Johnny Lassiter. I'm with the Seaboard Volunteer Fire Department. And I came to force I'm not opposing them having a fire district, but I'm voicing my opinion of their infringement on our tax district in the Marcusville area. There leaves no expansion room for us to expand our district. When we set up our fire tax district, we are limited. The attorney, Charles Vaughn, when we set up our fire tax district, we were limited. We were only allowed to, on our east side, we were only allowed to set up on our line a 500-foot barrier that we could set up our district on. So we were limited to that area. It was only like 4.5 miles on our, so that blocked us in. So Severn is coming in and taking in part of our area on the east side. So we're limited there. So, I mean, that's 5 miles. We're not getting our full 5 miles of our insurance district on our that 5 mile on that area. So this is where we are. So this is why I am coming forth tonight, is to voice my opposition for the full area. I mean, we have operated in this area for many years. And when you got to try to operate and you need to try to get some additional taxes, and you got some area that you can expand into, you can do that without having to raise people's taxes. You can go and come to the board and ask to try to acquire some additional acreage, some miles, so you can go have some additional funds without going up on people's property taxes. So this is why I'm coming forth. And number two is we are much closer to the Margaretville area than Severn. Margaretville is only like 6 to 6.5 miles at the farthest point, the town itself, where from Severn it's about 11 miles. So, I mean, we had a much more advantage point for that area than Severn is. So, I mean, I know the point when you look at the map, it was a wide open thing that for them to look at and set up a tax. But I mean, it kind of put us at a disadvantage as far as, coming up and just butting right up and taking up the tax area because it was, it was left there wide open. Thank you.
I need to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Had you all in this 5 districts, had you all gotten together at any time about this new proposal? Did you know what Severn was doing? Did you know what Conway was doing? Because of the fact they had public hearing. And in that public hearing, it was an opportunity for all the people in the Severn area to be there and everybody in the Conway area to be there. I didn't go to the one in Severn, but I had the opportunity to go to one in Conway. So I'm just asking, did you have a communication with them about that area?
Kind of put me at a disadvantage, trying to run Granny down. Then I didn't, when able to find out about a map, about this until this week.
Okay. Thank you.
So there was no correspondence between, the 5
It wasn't. Board members, you have any questions you need to ask him about his presentation? Just for facts, that's all. Just for facts, just for facts. We'll now listen to anyone else who would like to speak.
Chairman Tanner, a few folks signed up. So if I can go ahead and recognize them, and then
Okay.
I was going through the,
We get to you in a minute.
I'm sorry, Donna Edwards.
How y'all doing this evening?
Good evening.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. I just wanted to find out what the maximum tax levy rate is for this fire district. I know the paper says it's 7, but is there a maximum limit on this rate? From what I've read within the general statutes, it's 15 cent. Is that correct, or?
Could go up to that. We only went by what the fire departments told us
Mhm.
they were recommending.
Okay.
They would have a public hearing and the people would help them determine, okay, that amount.
And my next question would be, will there be a special election be held for citizens to vote on this issue?
Man. It comes before us, tell them what to do.
I knew normally, I think when the Seaboard Fire District imposed theirs, there was a vote on the election. Are you for or against?
Okay, now in your public hearing that I went to, you had an opportunity.
Okay.
And to vote, to speak, tell the people what it is that you desire to do in Conway as well.
Right, okay. Would you know how this fire district applies to solar fields? Are they exempt or excluded from this fire tax levy?
All the areas included in that district.
And I was told that I could not be taxed twice for being in multiple fire districts or listed. Is that so?
Can I clarify? This is a legislative public hearing.
Mhm.
These are a time for citizens to make comments.
Okay,
And I can't, the board and neither I can give you legal advice.
okay. All right, well, I guess my statement would be that the proposed districts, I would recommend to be redefined to match the fire area that is shown on the county's GIS mapping for the county. Both proposed districts, which is the Severn and Conway, seem to be encroaching on the Seaboard's fire territory.
Okay.
So that's my statement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate that. Thank you. Wait a minute, we're gonna deal with these we have signed up, then we'll come to.
Donna Burgess.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Y'all said that Conway is proposing 7 cent, right?
Um,
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Okay. Well, based on the posted tax rates for other towns, I looked on here, which is on your county website. Most all other towns started out at 4 or 5 cent. They all did. And some of them are still at 4 or 5 cent. There are a couple that have gone up to 7 cent. So my question is, why does Conway feel like they have to charge 7 cent from the get-go?
I said it before, they had a public hearing in Conway for that purpose. They could answer all the questions you asking us tonight.
But
All
that,
we doing is taking recommendation coming from the fire departments, and then we will deliberate and decide what we will do.
so do the citizens have any say-so in that rate?
And what?
In that rate, do the citizens?
You need to been at the public hearing.
I was there. I was there. Mhm. And I also asked at that public,
Wait a minute now, wait a minute. Now, this gonna be all the meeting now. If you're gonna stay in here, we, only one person gonna talk at a time. Let's make sure we get that understood. If you got something to say, we will give you opportunity to say it, but we're gonna respect each other.
sorry,
Yes, ma'am.
I was at that meeting
Yes, ma'am.
and, I did not ask that question. I didn't have that information at that time that all the other towns started out with 4 or 5 cents. I didn't have that information to know to ask that question. I don't feel like it was publicized enough because every other fundraiser that the fire department has in Conway, it's publicized on Facebook, it's publicized on a sign downtown. This was not. I realized they did what was required, but it was not enough. Enough people were not there. The majority of the people there were firemen. So not enough citizens were there. They didn't even know about it. But I did ask at that meeting, I think you'll remember,
Yes.
if farm equipment would be included in this tax. And it was said that they did not think it would. Well, I called the county office because they said they did not think it would. And I was told, yes, it would, but they could, request that it be excluded if the fire department desired to do that. So I called a fireman and told them that information, and I requested that they discuss that with the county and the fire department and determine if there was a possibility that that could be excluded. And I did not hear back from that fireman
Thank you.
with that information.
Thank you.
So it's just hard. I mean, tax. And, farm equipment is kind of like your retirement. And that is our retirement if we ever get to retire. So it's just hard. It's just not fair that farm equipment will be taxed. Has it been discussed with the county, the possibility of excluding that?
No one's brought anything to us other than what we have tonight.
So that falls back on the fire department.
Following their recommendation. We had, I gotta say it one more time, we had the citizens to meet with the fire department. If y'all opposed, then you would have been there. They asked for a vote.
But we were told that fire equipment was not gonna be included, but it is, right?
No, I don't know.
Is it?
Oh, it's not.
We didn't know it.
Uh-huh.
Right,
But-
but
but
did
what
you
we-
check into it?
Yes, we did. And all the other districts.
What I got?
are asking
What I asked-
some equipment vehicles and
Right, but does that mean Conway has to?
So that's what we went in along with everybody else.
But you didn't have to.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. We hear you. Okay, thank you. We're trying to make this where you can give it and we don't have to give a response, but it's certainly hard, you're making it hard for us to do. Okay, next one.
Chairman Tyner, those are all the signups I believe I have on the fire district. Then
Fire district, nothing. Yes, sir.
I want to say good evening to everybody.
Yeah.
My name is David Rawls. I'm a citizen of Margarettsville. We've been served really well by the Seaboard Fire Department. And I feel that everything that we do in this county should benefit the citizenry of the county. What I'm trying to do is make some sense of this. The response time for the Seaboard Fire Department, the fire chief at Seaboard lives in Margarettsville. The response time for the Seaboard Fire Department would probably be 15 or 20 minutes smaller than what it would take the time for the fire department to come from Severn. They'd have to leave home, go to the fire station, suit up, and come all the way up to Margarettsville. When part of the Seaboard Fire Department lives right there in Margarettsville. I'm just trying to figure out why we would have a fire department come from, I don't know how many miles it is from Margarettsville to Seaboard, from that distance, all the way up to Margarettsville, when we have a fire department almost right there in Margarettsville. I'm just trying to make some sense of what we're trying to do here. We the citizens of Margarettsville, we talked about it, and we're perfectly satisfied with the fire department and how they've been responding to us right there in Margarettsville. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there another one? Right, yes, come to the podium. Please, sir. This is on the fire district.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Evening.
My name is Ronald Rawls. I live in Margarettsville, right on Highway 186, the same highway that the fire department in Seaboard is on. And I don't feel that it's right that I should be paying taxes in Severn because it would take longer for them to get to me. And as recently said, the Seaboard Fire Department have served us well all these years. And it wouldn't make no sense for a fire department that's right on the highway, which I live on, not to be able to service me. Somebody got to come from way down Severn to service us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We are Scott and Sandra Reddish, and we live at 2405 Tower Road in Margarettsville. And we did not go to the hearing because we didn't receive a notice. But approximately a year and a half ago, let me just briefly say this. We didn't get a notice of a public hearing, but we are not only concerned about the taxes, but we're also concerned about the safety issues that will increase because we live in Margarettsville and the Seaboard Fire Department has served us very well. There will be approximately a year and a half to 2 years ago, case in point, we had a fire which was getting out of hand. And Seaboard Fire Department responded to us. The fire was about to burn down our barn. Okay, it was about to get to the barn. Okay, and then after the barn, it would have hit the house. Okay, but the fire department responded promptly, and 4 to 5 or extra minutes that it would take a fire truck to come from Severn, the house would have burned down. So we're respectfully asking if we can still remain in the Seaboard Fire Department area. You want to add to it?
I'm just gonna agree and say that if things are going well, why change?
Thank you.
We hear you. We hear you well. Hear you. Any other persons? Our district.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'll say this and make my departure, seeing that we're pretty limited in whether we can vote on it or not. Number one, I'm sorry, I'm Cassandra Person, my husband Curtis. We live in the Pendleton area, and it's funny to me that we talking about Severn and Conway. Who is representing or who's speaking for Pendleton? As far as I know, it is still an area here. Am I correct? It is a town. And decisions was made, as someone has spoke before, no notification. However, now that the decision is almost made, completed, I received 2 notices about this meeting, but didn't receive one about the public meeting where we could actually voice our opinion on whether we wanted it or not. So I just want to say in closing, because really there's something else I could be doing, because you've already made the decision that you're gonna vote one way or the other, that we will have a tax and a redistricting. So really, there's no voice here for me, but to just remind you, you work for the citizens, not we work for you. And this is a prime example. Thank you for your applause, but this is a prime example why we need to be mindful when we vote. Because you put them there and they work for us. Somebody needs to do better as far as communication is concerned. Somebody needs to do better as far as notification is concerned. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
My name is Curtis Person, and Cassandra is my wife. We have been in the Pendleton area, I have all my life. Conway, Severn, they always been there to help us out if a fire happened. That way it always been. My question to come to is why we wasn't given a notification of coming out to the meeting that they had, but we got notification for this one. There was no one sent nothing out to us to inform us about the meeting in Conway or Severn. And we stay right there in Pendleton. This is the only meeting that we have got notification of. And I do believe and I do understand that things sometimes have to change, but I do believe that we pay enough taxes already. Severn Fire Department, Conway Fire Department, they already got new fire stations and everything. So why do they need to tax us for more on our property taxes, on our taxes? We already pay enough taxes. I have 11 acres and some change in Pendleton. I don't want to pay the state, the county, no more tax money than I'm already paying on. But I do understand I do have to pay taxes, but at the same time, I should not have to pay because Severn and Conway decided they didn't want to raise taxes, that I need to pay more tax money. Thank you.
Now, I gotta say this and for whatever. We had nothing to do, this board had nothing to do with those notices going out to the citizens. That was up to the fire department in those districts. Only thing we were responsible for is what we doing tonight is making sure you, the citizens, okay, agree or disagree, have an opportunity before us to say yes or no. The notices, we had nothing, this board has nothing to do with. Your fire department chief, people who work in your fire department, that's who you need to be talking to. Now, let me also say to you, The reason they need the funds is because it is a volunteer fire department. Let me make sure you understand that. It's a volunteer fire department. And by being volunteer, it means they gotta find somebody to work, come to work the fires, to get training to fight fire. They got to have the personnel. So what they're doing, they're asking for some money to help them with equipment and the personnel that they need in order to fight the fire. And you all need to have been, this discussion should have been in your community with your fire department, because the fire department is protecting you. It's your protection. You need to sit down with them. No, we don't want this. Yes, we want this. We don't want no fire department at all. That's entirely up to you all. It's that's not a county responsibility. That's your responsibility as a citizen in that community. And it was that we didn't have no problem with fire department. We have plenty of volunteers, but no more. No more. We don't have those volunteers as we had in yesteryears. So I just want to say to you, when I was at their meeting, they just at one I went to, they were talking about the reason they needed the funds. That's why I wish all of you all would have been at your meeting so that you could have heard what it is they need the funds for. And I just wish you would have. So the decision tonight this board will have to make is whether we're going to allow this to happen or not happen. And I cannot stand confusion. And there seemed to be some confusion here tonight, and we're gonna clear that up before we leave. Are there any others? Any others? Any others? Fire district. Fire district. Yes, sir.
John Hardy,
Yes.
and I'm from the Murfreesboro area. Well, 258 South. Well, I heard you speak, but from what I'm hearing here, not even the fire stations have gave out notification. So therefore, we haven't had a chance to go to those meetings other than what you have said. And like most of us here, and I'm sure they're here because of the tax raise. No one wants their tax raise. Sometimes we look at it as someone else need a raise, even though your point was good of the things that we need for the fight the fire. But let first the fire department send out their notification. And then let us go to those meetings and find out what kind of taxes they're talking about, what type of funds of raising before they do anything. Because further we know is someone want to start their pocket with money. So that's how we look at it in a sense. And sometimes, and where we at now, everything is going up, gas, groceries, and we then paying taxes on top of it. That's a burden.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And I'm not too familiar with the procedure for these meetings, but I'll try my best. First of all, I'd like to thank Severn and Conway Fire Departments. We had an incident about 2 years ago where they were Johnny on the spot, and we sure appreciated their efforts. However, I was just wondering, because I'm not familiar with, even though I'm a county resident all my life, worked in the county, I'm not familiar with the fire districts. How many fire districts are in Northampton County?
There's a municipality.
Seven.
Seven? Okay.
Yeah, 7 townships.
Though,
It's 9. Yeah, right.
Okay.
Clear.
okay. Of those 7 or 9,
7 acres.
how many have a separate fire tax that area have, the citizens have to pay for? How many of them have it?
I think all of them had it besides Conway and Severn. Everybody has it besides those two districts. That's the reason they came up. That's what they were doing was depending on people giving donations. And standing on the road with donations with the bake sales and all that they have. So all of them have them besides those two.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, the question I wanted answered.
Thank you.
Excuse me, ma'am. Could you give us your name, please? Thank you.
And Cynthia Newsom.
Thank you, Ms. Newsom.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, you may. Come up to the mic. You need to come to the mic because people are listening.
Forgot to make it clear that my husband retired from the Conway Volunteer Fire Department.
Hmm.
He is all for the fire department. He loves all of them in there, but he is not for this fire tax. I am going to request on his and my behalf that the fire department have another meeting, send letters to all whoever's affected in Conway and open it back up to discussion. Because I've probably had 30 people tell me I didn't know nothing about it. I realized they did what was required, but I don't think it was enough. So I'm requesting that they open it back up and start over. And then if it is what it is. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to close the hearing on the Severn Conway Fire District. Thank you for all of your input. At this time, we're going to ask the board members, are there any questions you need to have? You have at this time.
Sure, Tom, I have a couple.
Yes.
One, I know this is a request because we're in budget season and to have it approved. And maybe the attorney or the tax administrator may have to edit it. The timing of it being right before they wanted to implement it July 1, what is our leeway that we have to send this back? Is it send this back or republicize and add it later, or does it have to come back in the 25 budget season?
Based on, Commissioner Faulkner, based on the statute, if this board establishes new fire tax districts, they must go into effect at the beginning of a fiscal year.
It's July 1.
It's July 1. So if this board decides not to approve the resolutions and send it back to the respective towns, it wouldn't come up until next year's budget approval.
That was what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
That's a whole. Okay.
Yep.
So, any other questions, board members, you have before we?
I have one. I do also. Do we have, what is yeah, I would like to see Seaboard's map. So obviously, we don't have it. Do you? Can I see that, please?
It's kind of like the threshold that extends out toward the Bynum Road and Taylor's Mill Road.
Yes.
This is Seaboard Fire District.
Okay. So how was this originally established for Seaboard?
Years, but before any of us
Yeah,
went forward.
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, how did that limit get established? Is that the city limit and then it's just 500 feet outside the city?
It was a 5 mile.
Okay, 5 mile, okay.
it was based off of this, but when it got down to this, got down to this road right here.
Hey.
It was cut back. Cut back to 500 feet on each side of the road.
Area, like I said, then they cut it back in 550.
Those didn't have road access. Is that road access to these areas or is that? Okay.
Before y'all make a yes or no decision, I would like for y'all to come look at the map. That's gonna show the fire zone.
Right.
This area was not. It was being service, a fire zone response area.
Mhm.
Nobody is being double.
Understood. Mr. Chairman, I have a question. Okay.
Okay, so the area that's in question between the Marcusville area that's in question was not being taxed by anyone, but it was being serviced mostly by Seaboard, I assumed, because Seaboard is closer. But in Northampton County, we have top tier first responders. Anybody who is available to respond will respond to you, no matter who tax you pay. I also have called the police. I have also called the fire department, and there were 7 units in my yard. Rich Square doesn't have 7. Rich Square and Woodland together don't have 7. There was a collective effort. Just because Seaboard has been responding, I will hope just because they're not getting the tax, they won't stop responding. If they get, but maybe they would. I don't know. I hope they wouldn't. Nobody is being double taxed. If you already have a fire district tax, you will not get another district tax. You will stay in your fire district tax. This is not to harm the citizens. It is only to help. Conway said, Ms. Mason, we have sold all the Brunswick stew and barbecue we can sell. We need some more money.
I would like to say that is incorrect. I live in Warrensville on 186 on the corner of Big Yard Store Road, and I moved here back in 2014. I've been paying taxes to Seaboard Fire Department since I've been here. So for you to say people in Martinsville was not being taxed, it is incorrect.
What I'm saying is on the map that I'm speaking of, on the fire district map that I'm speaking of, the area that's in question, sir, and you haven't seen the map, so you don't know what area I'm talking about. Okay.
I am talking about the Mount Carmel.
Okay, hey, look, we understand, that's something we need to discuss outside the meeting. You need to discuss down at the Seaboard Fire Department, at the Conway 7 Fire Department. We ain't gonna have that in this meeting, okay? So let's move on. Thank you, Tax Administrator. We appreciate the information. We appreciate it, sir, all the information. Are there any other I think I've asked for that already. Now we shall move on.
No, Mr. Chairman, I have a question. I'm just hearing information being given and received. So my question to Conway and Severin, if I can get that answered for this board, when was the information sent out to citizens about the public hearing? No, ma'am, not this one. The ones for the
one for Conway and the one for Severin.
my question, I want to be clear. Not this hearing, because this is the hearing we're taking the information to vote on it. When was the information given to citizens concerning the public hearing in Conway and Severin? And if someone from the fire departments can answer that question for me, it would be greatly appreciated. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The Conway Fire Department was required to post it in the paper 2 times within a couple of weeks. We did that. Also, we put this notice on the businesses in town a week before the meeting. And this our first public hearing at the fire department was on January the 27th.
January 27th?
27th.
Is this for Conway?
That's Conway.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I think Severn had theirs at a different time. I can't answer that.
I'm just trying to get the time frame. I really appreciate you, sir. So I got the time frame from Conway. What about Severn? If there's a representative from the Severn department that can answer that question, I would greatly appreciate it. Yes, sir.
It was also put at the town hall, publicized there for everybody, came to the town hall. Dennis Woodard and the chief at Severn.
Yes, sir.
And we did what we were told was what we needed to do, publicize the hearing.
Thank you, sir.
And
Answer my question.
as it was said earlier, Severn actually covered all the way up to 186 originally.
Mhm.
Because when they were setting up fire response areas, Seaboard refused to take Margaret's. We covered it, then they said they wanted to do it, so we let them have it back.
I have a
question.
I'm not gonna get into this discussion. I know, I see you. I'm not, we're not gonna have that discussion tonight about you giving it up and then you taking it. That's in the past. We're not gonna discuss it. We're gonna see what we're gonna do from now on, okay? So board members, are any other questions you need to ask? Mr. Ellis asked is there any other question you need to ask? Yes.
My understanding was both times already voted, their time councils
Yes.
already voted to do this. Is that correct?
Yes.
That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Severn and Conway's.
Each town has a council.
My issue, my angst is I have family members in Margarettsville. My family members see Seaboard as their closest. When I would say I'm going to see my aunt, basically my mom would say we're going to Seaboard. I never would have associated Severn with Margarettsville. And that's again, that's where I'm having my issue. And I don't know how often my cousins or my family members go to Severn that would see a business posting or a newspaper. Many people now, they're getting their news online, whatever they can get that's freely posted versus so I could see how many citizens were not aware of the method that was used. And maybe back in the day, everybody got a newspaper because there was no social media that, you didn't have smartphones. But now many people have given up the cost of the newspaper to whatever they can get on free media. So that's again where I have a concern, and we're hearing the gap of knowledge.
I have an issue with, it's such, just like Chairman Faulkner. We're stating that letters were sent to everybody, but my question is evidently everybody didn't get a letter. Another thing, who was to send out a letter? Because I'm hearing from the fire departments, they didn't. So if they didn't send out a letter, whose responsibility was it? Was it our responsibility? Let's take it. If it was our responsibility, it was our responsibility. But if y'all didn't send a letter, who sent the letter? Everybody didn't get a letter. So that's the issue with me. Everybody was not informed of what's going on. So I have an issue with the lack of information. Maybe the council did do the meeting or whatever, but for whatever reasons, the citizens do not know what's going on. They did not get the information.
Okay,
And
this time, board members, we've heard that, and we will, give you a moment to, mull over that decision. I need to ask, county manager and attorney. Attorney, if we were to table this until they go back to the counties, and, I know what you said about July 1st, but can we go back after they have come back? And can we go back to our budget? Because it doesn't mean anything to the county budget. It just means something to the budget that's gonna be, the money's gonna be given to the municipality. So my question is, can we, for instance, we don't do it tonight, can we come in August and do it and make it retroactive?
Chairman Tyner, I am going to defer first to Mr. Phillips because he is your budget expert.
Yeah.
And I am not.
According to the general statutes, you cannot do it. You have to establish the adoption of the fire tax rate. Can you all hear me? Is there something wrong with this mic? Maybe I'm just hearing myself. Can you hear me now? If the adoption does not take place this fiscal year, it cannot be incorporated in the tax bill. It would have to wait until the next fiscal year. So your timeline is June 30th of 24, Sunday.
Sunday's June 30th.
That's a rock and a hard place. That's a rock.
And for what I'm hearing, it is not just the Conway Severn requests. It is now information that may have been accurate at the time when Seaboard established theirs, that now Seaboard may want to look differently at what they're doing. Not sure that they would charge any more taxes, but from what I was hearing in the comments, their information was more restrictive than what the general statutes currently say. You all hearing the same thing?
I heard, yeah, Mr. Lasser. Thank you, Mr. Lasser, for saying that. Yes. Well, this is town tax, right?
Yeah.
Town tax.
So,
And for clarity, this is what the towns would tax.
That's why it has to be,
We collect it. Yes, I understand that.
that's why it has to be a part of our.
That's right. Okay.
that means those two towns we did not vote for, do not have those taxes for this year. Give them the year, give them a year to come up with another resolution with this citizen in that town, in that district. That's what I'm hearing. So the decision we have to make tonight, whether we're going to do it or whether we're going to not do it, and give them opportunity to go back and rehearse. Because what I've heard tonight is that citizens who are affected by this did not get a notice, did not get a notice or were not notified about the meeting that took place in both municipalities. That's what I hear. That's exactly what I hear. That's exactly what I hear. And I didn't hear this when I went to Conway to that meeting. I just didn't hear all of this. I really didn't, but we hear you tonight.
Right.
Hear you tonight. Board members, I guess at this time, we do need to resolve this resolution before we can move on, because on our,
Right.
in our procedure tonight, is the budget that we must. What is your pleasure, board member?
You know, Mr. Chairman, I'm there's a theme that is kind of constantly resonating within our dear county. That word is information. Information. And so I really think that we as a board of commissioners need to do more outreach to the city and the townships, so that, I mean, this June the 27th. And we're voting on something because safety is paramount. I applaud all first responders. Let me be clear. I applaud all first responders. However, but the word information, even to the solar farms that has been in our established in our area, to the hog lagoons, water waste, and I applaud all entities that's fighting for pollution free. But there's a recurring theme in this dear county, and I'm 57 years old and I've been here a while. When you say information, I'm not saying misinformation, but the dissemination of information. And it needs to be done in a timely manner so that we're not getting surprises and bombarded when something is happening in Northampton County. We need to have the information in a timely fashion. And so, and I thank the gentleman from Conway and the gentleman from Severn, I would call your names if I knew them, for telling me when it was posted. But it seems to me that we need to do some old-fashioned mailings. Everybody doesn't have social media. My mom is 83 years old, and she still relies on snail mail to pay her bills. And so in our dear county, we need to come up with a system of how information is delivered in a timely fashion to be able to vote on some things of this magnitude to make sure everyone is first and foremost safe, but also informed. Because when you get information, then you can never say that you didn't receive it.
Board members, what is your pleasure so that we can get out of here tonight? Not trying to rush you,
Let's
but
move on.
let's make a decision.
Let's move on. There's no motion on the table, correct, Mr. Chair?
Well,
Right.
for one of you all.
Okay.
I have a motion. Have a motion.
Whose district is this?
Huh?
School district?
Which of the year?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we delay this decision because of the information was not given to all citizens. And again, I applaud every first responder. However, I move that we do not move forward with the taxes for Conway and Severn.
Second.
Remember, we still in a public meeting now, folks. You ain't at church. This is a public meeting.
So
Okay. All right. At this time, you've been moved improperly second. I'm gonna question.
no, I was trying to be clear on what was the
The motion was we do not move forward with the taxes that the Conway and Severn Fire Department are requesting. That was my motion, Madam Vice Chair.
Gotcha.
Okay, I just want to be clear.
It's usually all the other ones we've ever done have always been kind of the opposite, but that's a motion too.
It is a motion.
Yeah.
Not that I move forward.
At this time, we've had a motion on the floor that we would not at this time approve the Severn and Conway Fire District request. At this time, we're going to ask all of those who are in favor of the motion to please vote now at this time.
Are you requesting that they re-advertise, start the process again for next year?
Yes, sir. When the chairman asked a question, I was just going to say, can we move forward with when we get to that moment, Mr. Martin?
Moved and properly second. We would table this until.
Not table.
Not a table.
Not table.
We will not approve this
That is correct.
at this time. All in favor of the said.
I don't have a question, but I do have a statement. I just believe we should work with the towns to make sure that information is given on any concerns that citizens may have so that we don't say anything as related to no information received. And that's anything in Northampton County.
Thank you. All right, and no question? Question? All in favor of the said motion, please vote aye.
Aye.
I, Broadnax Taylor.
I Faulkner.
Aye.
Ayes have, motions carried. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. At this time, may we continue on with our public hearing, Old Solar Farm. Okay, this time,
Not gonna make everybody happy.
I am too. I ain't worried about none of it. We said you make them every day. That's what we do. Solar farm, public hearing. Who signed up for the social?
I'm
Thank you.
sorry. Irene Rogers. Yeah, she passed, Diane and all them. Yes, ma'am. Okay. I know Roger. I knew Roger.
At this time, we shall have the public hearing on the solar farm at this time. Questions come before us about solar farm. Let me have your attention, please. Please. Still in the meeting. Questions come up to us about solar farms in Northampton County and what we need to do about so many being put up in Northampton County. This is not the first time this has come up. This came up before. When it came up before, we did the very same thing that we're doing tonight. But at the end of the time that we had extended, we had the state come down. We had everybody we could name to come and say to us what it is that the Board of Commissioners. And again, we shall do the very same thing again. You'll have, if we need to, any persons coming down, and remember that we cannot be held liable for not the commissions, for not letting people do what they desire to do with their land. That was before us before. If we do so, we got to do it within the law. There is no law on the book in the state of North Carolina that says solar farm cannot be. It is hazardous to your health. Anything on the books. And we're not on, Northampton County is not the only one that's facing this dilemma. All the counties are facing the same dilemma. Personally, you all know how I feel about it. It takes away from the farmers. Takes away. And Northampton County industry, the one that we depend on most, in Northampton County is farm, whether you know it or not. Fertilizer dealers, people who work on the farm, the people who produce the products. Northampton County, look it up. What are we? Agricultural. Agricultural county, whether you admit it or not, that's what we are. And when we got solar farm, what does it do? It take all of those lands out of production. Okay, but again, we're listening to you all, and we want y'all to be a part of making sure that you understand all there is to know about the solar farm. At this time, we're gonna open it up so that any person who wanna come and talk to us, make a statement to us about solar farm, you'll be able to do so at this time. Oh, you got you wait a minute. Yes, yeah, hold on just 1 minute. I have some and I'll come back to you, okay? Hold on, we got, let's do these first, then we're gonna come, we'll let anybody who want to talk.
Ms. Ruby Vincent Garner.
To our county officials, all citizens in the building, I reside on Highway 46 in Voltaire, Lake Gaston community. which is on the western end of the county. And I am an opponent of the solar farms, especially in my community, for the following reasons. For one thing, they're too close to my house, which causes the property of my value to go down. Then they're an eyesore in our community that take away from the habitat for the wildlife. To me, the landowners, the manufacturers of these solar farms have put profit and greed over the life of humans and wildlife. They cause traffic jams in our area. And as you said, Commissioner Tyner, they take away from our farmland, which produce goods for our economy. And they seem to be installed in the low-income communities. And they also produce pollution in our communities. And what I want to find out, when they were given permission to build their solar farms, did they have any kind of ordinance? Because my research shows that they are not allowed to be within a mile of people's houses. And they are within a mile of a neighbor's house in my community. And also, while I'm standing at the podium, I have been coming to you since July of 21 about the internet in my community. I was told that the county has money for internet improvement in our community, but where I live, I have not seen any improvement for high-speed internet in my community. US Cellular came and did a Band-Aid job, but it didn't work. So we're hoping and praying that the money that you receive for internet in our community will soon be used. And thank you for listening.
Thank you. Another one.
Miss Sylvia Vincent.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You know, lack of communication is a big issue in this county, with the citizens not knowing things that's going to happen until it does happen. And that's a real big issue, because this is the issue that we are having, lack of communication. And now we have this bad issue that we have to face in our community. And I have been here several times and made comments, but they do seem to fall on deaf ears, because Sun Energy is still working in our neighborhood. I have asked each time that I come for specific information and documentation to support those requests. But to this day, I have not received any. Somebody brought Sun Energy here, and somebody didn't care who would be affected by the installation of those panels. Why the secrecy? Do you plan to give me the information? What are your intentions? Do you plan to have Sun Energy place more solar panels in our community to be abandoned after a few years, like we already have some fields abandoned in the county? Will panels be placed on Cherry Tree Road in Gaston? Will they be placed on Oak Grove Church Road in Gaston? And will there more be placed on Highway 46 in the Voltaire area? We would like to have some answers to these questions. With all of the concerns that have been presented to this board, when will you give reasons for not taking care of us instead of looking out for yourself and Sun Energy? You all know those panels are dangerous because they are made of hazardous materials, and you know what hazardous materials will do. Yet and still, you continue to allow the installation of these panels without regards to the community's well-being. I'm not speaking of just a few in a field. We are talking about a saturated neighborhood. We are talking about, if you know what the word saturation means, you know there are a lot of panels. There are a lot of panels planned to be put there still, and we don't like it. They are not installed in your community, nor are they installed in the community where Sun Energy CEOs live. You have made a deadly decision to allow Sun Energy to come to our community. but we also know the buck stops with you. It is a very sad day for the citizens of Northampton County and a very sad day for the Voltaire community to have to come here and beg you to protect our environment, our health, and our future generations. Because if the communication had been better, we would have known ahead of time. All of us in the Voltaire community will have known ahead of time. And we could have been here to voice our concerns. We could have given you our research. We would have given you, brought more people here to say, no, those things they're hazardous. They're hazardous. They're going to be here and they're going to contaminate our environment, our area. We want our children to be safe in the future years. And they're not going to be safe with the saturation of solar panels in our neighborhood. I have here, in just a few days, me and a couple of others went around and we just talked to some people in the neighborhoods, about the solar panels. You know what I heard a lot of? They're not going to listen to you. They're going to do what they want to do anyway. And that's not right. They should not have those kinds of feelings. They should have some confidence in their board. And, and I want to say this about your mission statement. Turn around and look at it and read it and study it, because it does not, it's just a plaque on the wall. Thank you.
Chairman Tanner, I believe those are all of the signed comment statements I have regarding this matter.
There's another citizen who would like to speak on that issue. Yes, sir.
My name is James Leon Vincent, and I'm from the Gaston area. And I have to contradict you on something that you said about that people can do what they want to do on their own land. That is not so. If I want to put a shed on my land, I have to get permission from the county down here to put a shed on there. They have to tell me which way to turn it and where I need to set it and et cetera. If I want to put a cemetery on my land, I have to get permission to put a cemetery on my land. You can't put what you want to put on your own land. So why do we give those people that the solar panel free runs to go and do what they want to do? You said people that own their land can put what they want to put on there. They cannot do what they want to do with their own land. Not in this county that I've been living in. We have not been able to do so. Also, notifications were poor. I live on Cherry Tree and been there for 50 years, 60 years. And I did not get a notification to tell me about solar panel was coming on Old Grove Church Road or in the Voltaire area. When I knowed anything that they was working. And now it was supposed to have been a moratorium on what they are doing, and they were supposed to be stopped. They are not paying you all any attention because they are working every day right now on Old Grove Church Road. So where is the buck going to stop? And when is it going to stop? Has anybody told them to stop? Has anybody told them to stop? Has the moratorium expired?
Are we answering?
Can y'all answer the question?
Yeah, I can tell you, first of all, there's no moratorium. That's what we're going to decide tonight. Next of all, I need you to know that if a person apply for a solar farm to be on their land, they don't have to come to the Board of Commissioners for permission. They go to the planning department. If they meet all of the setback guidelines, just as you talk about a person who will put a building on their land, yeah, they can put it there, but they just gotta follow the setbacks and the requirements that you gotta be from the road and from another person's property.
So they're not following the setback because you all have told them to stop. I understand that you all have told them to stop, but they haven't stopped.
We have not told them to stop. No, sir.
Well, that's false information.
We have not told them to stop. We cannot tell them to stop. It's not in our jurisdiction to tell them to stop.
Mm-hmm.
What we're saying to you tonight, if anybody else, if we vote tonight, that we will tell the planning department, you cannot approve anything else for 30 days. But it does not have anything to do with what they're already doing.
Yeah, but this is where they're breaking ground now, hasn't been going on until now.
Yeah, but see, they had already, you got some already in the pipeline that's already been gone through the planning department, have already met that requirement. And they, all they do is put them up. They don't have to come to, we don't even know where they are. They don't come to us.
I know that. I see you all don't know where they are. Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's out of our jurisdiction. Y'all asking us to do something that we can't do. The law will not allow us to do, folks. Please remember that. We cannot do that. The law would not allow it. That's all I'm saying.
But who allowed it? Somebody had to allow it.
No, if you come and you come for permit to put a solar farm, if you meet all the requirements of the solar farm, the people right over there gives you a permit. From the planning department. No, it's not. Okay. There are guidelines for it. In order to put one, you got to meet these requirements.
To make sure that you are following your mission statement.
Yeah. You're asking us to do something that we can't do. I don't want to talk, but see, we asking us to do something that we have no control over. I keep telling you.
So, who do you need to talk to if it's not this forum? What is the problem?
I'll be honest with you. Like, I don't know anywhere you can go that's gonna stop a person from putting on their land a solar farm.
Solar, that their companies like Sun. I can see a field going in a farm, but you have business, you have Sun Energy, Chairman Time.
I know.
You don't know it, but you have to see it. But they're not just farmers. There are people, Sun Energy companies that collect, they have saturated our community. They have saturated our community without concern or care.
So do we get?
Board would want to come to look at.
I've been there, look at it. We know what they are.
I've looked at it.
And all of us been there. And they're all across the county the same way. If you don't go to Seaboard, go down where it will stay. They down my road where I live, they're everywhere. How can we do it? Yeah, okay.
Get you a good lawyer.
Yes, sir. You want to speak? Go to the mic. Go to the mic. Yes, sir.
Alan Tashima. I'd like to reiterate what the gentleman had just said. And maybe I don't understand your org chart, but your building and permits office is right here.
Yes.
Okay, that's one thing. When I had things being built on my land, I had to go over there and get a building permit. But here's the other thing that you got to remember. Your land is zoned as agriculture. And I know that because we had to take somebody to court because they were going to put in a commercial entity and we stopped that. So that's where you would go is find out whether they followed the procedure. If it's agricultural land, I think by definition, solar panels are not agriculture. And what you can do is there must be signs or something that says a public hearing to do rezoning. Okay, so I think that's where the people are coming from. And when you say, I own the property, I can do with it whatever I want, that's wrong. I have to go through building and permit, and if it's not allowed, it's not allowed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got it.
But sir,
That's what you gotta go back. You
okay.
just
what
going
I'm
off,
saying for everybody
just
over
going,
here,
you just
just
going off.
check to see what the zoning is for the.
That's all
land,
you get. That's right.
And the bulk of it is agriculture. I understand that. So that's all I'm gonna say.
If it's zoned that way, agricultural land can be used.
No, it can't be used. Commercial.
No, it's not. It's not.
You say you can do anything what you want to do. You say it in a zone that way.
So, that's right. You're right.
Straight.
Okay, fine, fine. Well, you, whatever. All right, board members, anything else? Okay. I'm doing all I'm
No,
trying
I
to
could
do.
get us to it.
Okay, that's all I knew to do.
Right.
Done the best I could. That's it.
Where's,
And
and
Keith,
I
I'm waiting for you, Keith.
I just, Mr. Bennett,
Okay,
definitely. And thank you so much, Mr. Chairman. I just want to say, when you're looking at, all the solar panels that are going up there, we definitely hear your concerns. We definitely hear your concerns. And when you look at the statute, the way that was written, anything that has already been permitted, we cannot stop. We can stop new ones from coming, and that is in the form of a moratorium.
I want you to.
I just want to, I mean, for clarity, because again, I don't want citizens to ever think that stuff is falling on deaf ears. Because yes, ma'am, may I finish my comment? Yeah. And so when you look at what does the statute say, which we're governed by law, if a landowner has it already permitted, we can't stop it. And I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman,
I guess, come up to give us your name.
That when things come to the county, they come through the economic developer first. And from the economic developer to the planning board, and from the planning board to you all, they don't, solar fields are not in that area, not in that category.
Not unless you got to change, not unless you're gonna change the zoning. We, okay. Okay.
So,
Go ahead.
for a solar field such as that, they just come and apply for a permit because that's their land and they can just ask for a permit and they don't have to get
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
any permission from
To be clear,
anybody?
to be clear, if I may, solar farms under the Northampton County zoning ordinance, which is published online at the county's website, which is available, copies of which are available in the planning department, copies of which can be requested by a public records request. Solar farms are permitted uses under agricultural residential districts in Northampton County. That is the current zoning ordinance. Okay? What is before the board tonight? This was a public hearing that was properly noticed for the board to consider the inaction of a moratorium on future solar farm developments. Under North Carolina law, this board is forbidden from the moratoriums cannot affect any solar farms that have already been permitted and approved. It's
So they
against
get-
the law.
They get the permit from the zoning. From the zoning.
Correct.
No, we don't have to approve it.
No,
You tell-
no, we don't.
We don't approve.
We don't approve it.
Just
They
please
have
happen.
to give them the permit.
I understand what you're saying. I'm just asking a question.
I can't call them and say, don't approve this, I don't like solar farm. I don't. But I can't do it.
Well, I was just wondering the procedures or the process that they go
Like
through
an
because
example of the shed, as long as he meets the rules for building the shed,
You can build it.
he can build the shed. They can't tell him, you can't build the shed, they just can tell him, you
You
can't
should-
put it too close to the property line or whatever the regulations are. But as long as he meets the regulations, they can't tell him, you can't build the shed.
I understand that. But let me ask another question. And you're talking about people being informed. Now, I'm informed because I came and I asked to get on the email address, but everybody, excuse me, everybody is not tech savvy. A lot of people don't have internet. A lot of people, the Daily Herald is delivered now. You have to get it in the mail. So my thing is, lack of information, we perish. So I'm saying to all of y'all in here tonight, this is not the only meeting y'all need to be at. Every time that there's a meeting here, this room need to be packed, just like it is now, because a lot of stuff go on that you're not gonna know about unless you come out and see. So unless you get involved in what's going on, you put these people in place, you need to hold them accountable.
Zoning department. Planning and zoning. If you apply just like for you get a permit, then they need to go out and check to make sure that you met all the requirements.
Vincent. 4x8 signs supposed to go to the area. Notify you at least 30 days. We have seen that.
I don't know anything about the sign going up. That's for if you're gonna get it rezoned. Yeah, that's if you're gonna get it rezoned. You're gonna change the zoning on your property, and you gotta do that. You gotta advertise it. No. If there's farm. Agricultural. Okay, I thank you for your comments. We've heard your comments.
Question.
Yes, sir. Oh, okay.
Right here.
Yes, sir. Come here, you gotta come to the, we can't hear you.
Said that they were permitted basically back in 2020. How long does permits last?
I can't.
Because those I go to the board quite often, those boards that they have sitting out.
Yeah.
Several of those permits have expired. So that y'all reinstated them?
We have to ask that. We have nothing to do with that. We can ask the planning department. They're the one who follows it. Okay? But we can ask them.
And
You
as far
can
as
call and ask.
regulating, because I reached out to the state, they said they put it solely in the county to regulate them. So going back to regulating, does that fall back on the planning board? Because I know before they even come here, they scout this area.
Yes.
Because they're looking at financial records. They're looking at race, education levels. So they target those areas to find the less incompetent, so that people won't be able to give them a fight. So I'm just saying, in the future, if our planning board can come together and write, tighter bylaws and policies to put brakes on these companies that come in, because they have people that have doctors that read these policies before they even come to find those loopholes that they have found that come here and saturate our county like this. But this is supposed to be one of the biggest solar farms on the East Coast. We was just asking y'all anything that y'all can do to help make our citizens feel comfortable. And another thing that I'm asking that when they rewrite them, as far as the churches, our church, man, it's to the back door. All of us have had church picnics before. Kids are very adventurous. Kids get away, climb a fence, electrocuted. So I feel like there should be further setbacks from a church. And as far as you saying that there's nothing you can do, man, I know there can be stricter regulations as far as protecting the churches.
Yes, sir. You're right in that way. We can do the regulation, but you cannot, then they gotta follow our regulation where you're gonna be 50. You're right. I'll agree.
Yes, sir.
Don't disagree. Yes, ma'am.
Question is, what benefit do I, as a resident of Northampton County, get from these solar panels being in my community?
No, the taxes we get is really less than the tax we get from if you farming it. because of the state regulation. That's a state. There's again, that's regulated by the state. It give them a tax break because of the fact that they are solar farm.
Yeah, they get the benefit. What benefit do I get as a citizen of Northampton County? Nothing. They can just come and next thing I know, they're in across the street from me. And I don't get any benefit from it. And yet they can just come willy-nilly.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Definitely understand that.
You understand?
Definitely understand what you're saying.
can I find out the answer to
Thank you so much. So at our last meeting, I made a statement that we were going to seek out Sun Energy to try to get some of these questions answered and look at one of the key things that you just stated, ma'am, the benefits and non-benefits, because everything has pros and cons. And we have had sit down with Sun Energy and we're delighted that they accept the component of, being present. And they assured us that they will definitely start having, in my conversation, information so that we can flood with information about what solar panels are and answer the questions of, are they hazardous material? What happens after they get decommissioned? Many of those questions, I hear citizens, because I've been several times up there to where the work is going on. And the best thing about information is that again, I stated it a while ago, everybody's not on Facebook. Everybody's not looking on the website. And so we need to have public forums. And the Lake Gaston Community Center, we have a good partnership with them. If we can come up there and get Sun Energy to come and have an information session.
that would be good. And just a hypothetical question. If me and a couple of my friends went out in front of where they're working and picketed, would we get arrested?
Who land you gonna be on?
I'm sorry?
Who land will you be on?
Public land,
What you mean public land?
on the road, the county road?
Oh, you on the state highway, you fine, but you, but you block the highway, I can tell you what's gonna happen. Yes, ma'am, you long you on public,
Okay.
okay? You're on the right of way, make sure you're on there right of way. At this time, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Received a letter in the mail, and I went to the J.W. Faison Center, and the letter was stating about water hydrant for area in the Conway, between Conway and Woodland. So I'd like to know, am I in the right meeting?
No, we ain't discussing that, but the lady with water is right behind you. Go back there and ask her. She can tell you. That's the lady in charge. There she go. That's right. Go ask her. No, we're not discussing that tonight. We got enough already. But please go talk with her. Okay? Okay? Yes, darling. Yes.
Good evening, County Commissioners. I want to come respectfully. When it was mentioned in May, Commissioner Edwards just hit on something. We need more information. And so it was requested in May that the county provide an audit and let us know a list of the solar installations that currently exist in our county and the developer's contact information, the dates of the commissioning of the solar farm and the decommissioning, how many years, and then which decommissioning plan that they're on, because I know that we have amendments to the plan and what exactly has to be removed. The number of panels on each of the installations and the relative size of each installation, and then also the guiding or governing documents for the installation. Now, we have a wonderful partner in Halifax County, the Center for Energy Education. And it would behoove us if the commissioners could arrange for us to have an informational session when the center can come in, as well as the county provide that information on the number of installations and the relative size, because a lot of the citizens are concerned about what appears to be saturation. So this was requested originally in May, and here we are, the end of June. So it's just information that we need. That's very important, so we can all understand what is going on. And in terms of, the sister asked a beautiful question. What is in it for me as a citizen? When these contracts are negotiated, I guess it's Attorney McKellar who will be negotiating these contracts or these installations. You don't have to negotiate anything.
County's not a party to the contracts.
Okay, the county is not a party to the contracts?
That's the landowner.
It only goes to the landowner.
That's it.
Okay, so I may be speaking out of school, but there were at least 2 installations in this county where the local governing body or local entities negotiated benefit for their particular entity. One was a church. They were able to get a commercial kitchen. Through that commercial kitchen, they served all of the employees who were in the development. So you know this is the case. A second negotiation occurred around in Garysburg, where the citizens were given a big appropriation to update the senior citizen center or facility, or something was negotiated for them. You all are in the capacity of leading this county and negotiating what's in the best interest of your residents. And so if you have no say-so in what developers come into this county, I think there still should be some negotiating for tax incentives or tax benefits or benefits to citizens. Elsewise, you can have people putting detrimental things on their private property, but it's not going to be confined to their private property. The damage is going to go elsewhere.
Agree with you.
Also, we would request an environmental impact study. There are bears and wildlife that I have not seen until this year when all the trees are being cut down. So in that information, it would be helpful if we could find out how many trees have been cut down and if there is going to be a reforestation effort.
Thank you. Yes. Money.
I mean, you do it for grow, peanut.
No, we get electricity. We just getting the energy coming from the sun that they turn into electric. They turn it into electric. Oh, so I ain't gonna get it. I tell you what, there'll be some form set up that here he is, he's getting ready to set that
I
up.
wish I would have had a chance to speak before the public hearing, because I do have some bit of a good news. I'll get there. My name is Derek Bennett. I'm the economic developer, and I've been helping out with the planning and zoning office. On my agenda tonight, Commissioner Edwards and I had the opportunity to speak with Sun Energy as requested. Representatives from Sun Energy, I hate to call you out. They are here tonight, Mr. Cody and Mr. Sorry, I forget your name. Yep, they are here tonight. We have not scheduled a public forum, but we will in the month of July. All citizens will be welcome to come out and ask any questions. Atia, we'll get with the county manager. We will post the notice on the website if I'm correct, and any other method for the public hearing. That's that. Additionally, the Center for Energy Education is here tonight to provide us with a presentation and an understanding of solar farms. That will come later or whenever the board so desires. That's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate it. At this time, our board members. Are there any other speakers? What are your recommendation? Board members on moratorium? What's your recommendation?
Make a motion that we approve the moratorium on, since Northampton County local government moratorium on the issuance, building zoning conditional use and or special use permits for solar farm facility development.
Time.
For
60 days.
Well, so you'll see on page 2, it is the discretion of the board on how long you want to set the moratorium. You will, so you can,
discretion of the board.
you have this notice. It is the discretion of the board. However, this hearing was held so that the board could adopt a moratorium that exceeds 61 days.
That's the 60.
Um,
All right, what is?
I would suggest board members, if you refer to on the second page of the draft moratorium, paragraph 1, there was a suggested date in there. However, if you need to revise that date, please do that in your motion.
Page 2 of the moratorium.
That's correct.
Ending June 30th, 2025. So the moratorium ending June 30th, 2020.
But you can set that less or more, however you feel.
30th, 2025.
I won't be here. That's good. Okay, then. I let the new board member have it. Okay. All right. Which you second it? We move the proper second that we would have this tabled until when is June?
June 30th, 2025.
Not table.
That's
Not
the
table.
moratorium.
Moratorium. Okay? Y'all all right with that? Okay, Ms. Commissioner.
So there will be no solar farms put up until June 30th as of now.
Any new ones?
Any new ones until June 30th, 2025. So that means we don't have anything to do with what they're doing now.
I guess one of the things is we can ensure that the setbacks are being adhered to, the conditions that are in our
Correct.
current ordinance or any subsequent ordinance.
That's a compliance issue.
Right.
And an
is something
enforcement
we do
issue.
different
That's correct.
from this. Yes.
Any existing permitted projects, which includes Sun Energy, may continue.
That's it. All right. Well,
And one of the things about, I'm sorry.
Ma'am.
Here.
No, that's a small company. That's just one on that. And it's the big ones in our county, but there's plenty of them in our county that have put up solar farms all down our way. Y'all from down my way, you all see all those. Some didn't do those. I forgot the name of the company. But anyway, okay.
Gentleman in the rear,
Could
Mr.
I have,
Second.
could I,
Second.
Gentleman in the rear.
wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes. Yes. I don't know, you all, that's why we're gonna table this, and then we're gonna have a meeting with them, and you have an opportunity to talk to them, ask them all those kinds of questions, okay? Yes. Yes, sir, I understand that. Okay, did I have a motion?
Motion and.
Motion's on the floor.
Second, that we would, not table, but moratorium until 2025. Okay, any other question, any other discussion? All in favor, let know by you sign aye.
I, Faulkner.
Aye.
Broadnax Taylor.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you. We will have no new ones until after that date, 2025, okay? That's right, no, and nothing.
Yes, sir, Mr. Vincent.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
huh? Can't stop what's going on, what had been permitted. Okay? Okay? And I think there, yeah, yes, sir. Yes. But the law, we've gone through all of that 4 or 5 years ago. Okay, and we'll do whatever. We're gonna have public hearing, and you can hear it all. Then you'll know we're gonna bring the state here. I think, Darryl, you're gonna bring everybody here so they can hear all the information. Okay, let us go on, and we postpone all of it until that time to 2025. Okay, board members, y'all all right? You fine? Yeah,
I'm fine, Mr. Chairman. And I just,
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
By the commissioner. Okay, commissioner, y'all all right? Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, at this time, we shall have citizens' comments at this time. Citizen comment? Citizen comment? You have any? Caroline. The last name.
It's hard to read. Grant or starts with a G. You're no longer here. James Arrington.
Good afternoon, everybody.
good afternoon.
Name is James Arrington. I come here this evening again. I was here the first of the month. What's your lane?
Yes, sir.
I want to know what the updates is on it. And you said somebody was supposed to be contacting me. I ain't heard nothing from nobody. I've been dealing with this mess ever since 2018.
All right, yeah, we gave
Giving
it,
me, they keep giving me the runaround, that they're gonna do this and do that. Ain't nobody done nothing.
we again go to the state. It's out of our hands. All we can do is go to the state. We will go to the state again and ask them why haven't they responded to our request? This is a state has got to do this. You met all the requirements. They told you that. We told you that.
Yes.
You came to us, you had to meet those requirements, you met those requirements. Now the state's supposed to take over and do what it is.
And then sometimes they say the state ain't gonna do it, the county had to do.
That's what they said. I
They-
called them a while back. They
The
said,
county has,
county have to do it, state was not gonna do it. And you have to be on their docket. That's what they told me. That's years ago. That's a couple years ago. I made that, I called that myself. Nobody done nothing down here. So don't nobody sit here and say they done nothing, because I know. They say I haven't heard from anybody and you have to be on the docket.
And I got all the paperwork at the house. I didn't bring it tonight, but I got all my paperwork at the house.
see, what we do is go to the district. The district is the ones that gets on the docket. We don't get on the docket. District must put us on their docket. This is a road we want to do in Northampton County. It's not us, it's the district. What's the man, Hill, isn't that his name?
I've been talking to Michael Hill for the
Michael
last
Hill
6
is
years.
the person
Every time I
put
talk,
us on the docket.
every time I talk to Michael Hill, he tell me, well, no funding, we ain't got no funding. He been telling me that the last 7 years. And I've been talking with you too, Mr.
That's right.
Also, I talked with Mr. Edwards.
Yes, sir, you have.
I will make it, my personal business to give him a call. Okay, and I will call you tomorrow. Okay, I will call him. And I got your number right here. I'll call you tomorrow.
They kept telling me to talk with Michael Ray.
Yes,
Talk with Michael Ray. Only thing he's saying, I got you on the burner. I got you on the burner. One time he said, well, we need your vote, need your vote. Got people to vote for him, still ain't done nothing.
okay,
And been in there 2 times since, he still ain't done nothing.
okay.
He ain't doing nothing there.
Got it.
Somebody, I'm gonna say this, somebody need to do something. All y'all down here, you should be able to tell us which way to go, what to do. Troubleshooter could find out what to do, if nobody else can't find it. We had to bring them in and let's go on TV with it. We have to do what we got to do. Because this is the county and it should stay at the county. State, they said, the county saying the state's supposed to do it, state saying the county's supposed to do it. So who do you talk to?
We have no monies. By
You
law.
know what?
We have no monies to build. By law, we cannot build a road.
Bet you, we was up on that lake when I put in there.
Think about how many roads y'all done put up there about. And you don't have any money,
We have not, the county have not put,
but the county was in it. If they came down here and the county was
we, it's the state.
But down here, hope them to do whatever the state done. So the same thing down here you done for them, you need to be doing for us.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, we hear you.
I don't know whether you heard me or not, but if you don't hear me, the troubleshooter heard me.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, I agree with you. Go where you need to go. Go where you need to go. We got time. Okay, on our agenda, we have any other citizens? Any other citizens? Citizens request.
Those are all I have, Chairman Turner.
This time we have the budget. This time, you have before you board members, budget. Have the budget right before you. We've already been through it. We've already had the public hearing. We've already had those, in places for people to see them, a website. And have anybody needed to make any comments, have contacted our county manager. And at this time, I'm gonna ask you, what's your pleasure this time to adopt our budget.
Chairman Tanya, I just want to make note that in this ordinance, we included the 2 new fire districts. So I don't know if you all want to say except for.
Yes.
And I will make that adjustment before, if it's approved, I will make the adjustment before we post it on the website.
Yes. We need to take those out. Or did not vote for those tonight. Take those out. Okay, am I right, Commissioner? Okay. Right, Commissioners? Y'all got.
Correct.
Yes.
And
And I have a motion that we'll adopt the budget for next.
Mr. Chairman, I move the adoption of the fiscal year 2024-2025 Northampton County fiscal year budget
Second. With the except.
with the exception of the fire ordinances for Conway and Severn.
Second.
Proper second to adopt the budget. Are there questions in the discussion? Not all in favor, let know by using the sign aye.
Aye.
Broadnax Taylor.
Faulkner.
Ayes, have a motion is carried. Thank you so much, board member. County manager, now you have a working tool that you can work with for the next fiscal year. At this time, we go on and let's talk about the insurance renewal. About it, county manager.
I have the renewal for our liability and property insurance, workers' comp. This is, we do this every year. There was a 13% increase in the cost. It's actually down from last year. Last year it increased by 17%. As you know, we are part of the North Carolina Risk Management Pool, which gives us a benefit of reduced cost. This cost is included in the budget.
All right. Board members, what's your pleasure? Gotta have insurance, you know.
Absolutely.
What is your pleasure? What's your pleasure? No insurance?
No, sir. Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the fiscal year 2024-25 insurance renewal.
Thank you, thank you. Be moving proper second, we will approve the insurance, renewal. Any questions, any other discussion? Not all in favor, let know by you sign aye.
Aye.
Broadnax Taylor.
Faulkner.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. May we continue on? Let's talk about proposed approval of amendment to South Side contract.
That's me again, and this is for a increase in the hours that we pay Soundside for their IT assistance. It's going to 17.33 hours weekly, and that's an increase from 6.7 hours weekly. So that's an increase of 10.6 hours, 10.63 hours per week. We have it covered in our budget. We included for a part-time IT analyst. We don't have that position filled. We just hired our new IT administrator that's starting on the second week of July. So this coverage is going to give us enough time for that new person to get on board, get acclimated to the process, and not feel pressured to have to basically train another person. So, and then we'll be looking for that person to make recommendation whether we want to stick with a part-time person or bring in another person. I think in the long run, you're going to need 2 more additional IT folks because of the way that the county is growing and the IT needs. And Soundside knows about it eventually. Unfortunately, as we grow in our ability to take on these duties, will decrease their contract at some point. So in essence, we have this covered in our budget with a part-timer. We'll just reallocate those dollars from the part-time position to this contracted services.
Board members, you've heard the county manager give us information about a contract, Soundside, Soundside. Okay, is there any questions? If not, could I have a motion, please?
I have a question.
Yes.
County Manager, you mentioned that we were looking for an IT person. Was that position advertised?
Yes, ma'am.
Advertised where, sir?
Was advertised on our web, in the newspapers. We've been advertising since the person that we had, Sarge, he was here when I first was hired, so it was 2 years ago, almost 2.5 years ago. It took us that long to find someone with the expertise to be a IT administrator.
Thank you.
Okay.
My question, we have a full-time person starting, but we're gonna increase the hours when we didn't have anybody? Yeah, they're gonna be doing more hours?
Well, Soundside has been requesting that we increase the hours for the last year now because of the volume of work that they've been bombarded with. So there is a backlog. I myself, I've called in several times and had to wait. I have a laptop that I can't get worked on right now that I usually take home with me. That, you know, not that I'm complaining I can't do work at home now. So, but this is just reality that there is a need, and we had budget this last year, and we were looking for 1.5 persons to add. We finally got that one person we're still in need of that half a person. So we approached Soundside they wanted us to increase their contract anyway, so we said it's a win-win for us. We'll give you these extra hours if you can meet the demands that we have right now. So we're still winning because we budgeted for a permanent part-time person that comes with benefits, and these hours that we'll pay to Soundside, of course, it doesn't include benefit dollars.
We went to them because we couldn't find anybody. Group, we decided Soundside was the group that we went with, and I think I was head of the ship at that time, and we couldn't find anybody. Just have them to come in. It's been out there, not available. We gotta have sites. We gotta have them now to help the person that we got coming on. I believe that's what we gotta do. Can't be a new person just come in and just take over. Gotta be somebody doing it already. And it's more work because of the courthouse. Everybody know that more work in technology now because of the courthouse and the courthouse extension, and it's just more to it. But again, this is less than what we were paying before. We just couldn't find it. Any other questions? If not, could I have a motion that we just go on and allow our county manager to pay those hours to Soundside, and
sir.
to go on and hire somebody that you say you've already hired to be in.
So the person is coming on board in July, is that right, Mr. Chairman? Right. Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the amendment to the Soundside contract.
I have a second. Moving proper second that we approve the contract. Are there any questions, any discussion? Not all in favor, known by you, sign aye.
Aye.
I, Brian X. Taylor.
Nay.
Aye, ayes have it, motion is carried. All right, let's continue on. We're talking about tax department matters.
Evening.
Evening.
I'm before you to ask for ad valorem release in the amount of $5.09.
Okay.
But I gotta ask for it.
Could I have a motion for $5 and? Could I have a motion?
So, Ms. Mason, is there a statute that says there's an amount
Think anything,
that doesn't need, ma'am?
anything over $4.
There it is. Okay.
Just made it over.
So $5 is.
Okay.
I move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Could I have a second?
Second.
Proper second that we approve $5.09.
Thank you.
All in favor, known by you, sign aye.
Aye.
I, Brian X. Taylor.
Ayes have motions to carry.
Okay, I'm asking for approval for 9 motor vehicle refunds in the amount of $720.54.
Board members, you've heard her give us the motor vehicles refund. What is your pleasure?
Motion that we approve the 9 appeals in the amount of $720.54.
Second.
Second.
Proper second that we will reimburse those persons, list given to us. All in favor, let it be known by usual sign aye.
Aye.
I, Brian X. Taylor.
I Faulkner.
Let's have it, motion is carried.
Thank you very much.
All right, Department of Social Services.
Good evening, Chairman Tyner,
Good evening.
Vice Chair Faulkner,
Good evening.
Dr. Edwards, Ms. Taylor, Broadnax Taylor, and Mr. Martin, and our county manager and assistant county manager. This evening, I stand before you to present a contract from Quality Home Staffing for level 1, 2, and 3 in-home aid services. The amount of the unit rate is $18 per hour. This company is purchasing Northeastern Home Care, who Northampton County Department of Social Services is already contracting with. I ask that the Board of Commissioners approve this contract as the sale will be finalized August 1st. And we would need to transition all of our clients to the other agency before that date, or they will lose services. And I have already sent the contract to Mr. McKellar, and he has reviewed it.
Thank you. Glad you found another contractor.
Mm.
I'm glad you got another contractor.
Yes.
Sorry. They won't be serving, so they were in county. Now you gotta go to Marshfield.
Right, so we already, Quality Home Care is already in Rich Square right now. So they have a office in Rich Square, and they are serving several citizens in Northampton County, but we don't have a contract with them currently.
Okay. Could I have a motion that we also approve what the director has presented to us?
That we approve contract in CB Home Care, family member, provider, quality home staffing, and Northampton County DSS.
Yes.
Your second?
Second.
Proper second. Are there any questions in discussion? Not all in favor, to know by usual sign aye.
Aye.
Broadnax Taylor.
That motion is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to Extension Matters.
There it is.
Good evening, board. How are y'all doing?
Good evening. Good evening.
Okay, I'm glad to see y'all smiling. Good to see everybody smiling. I'm coming for you tonight just to make you aware that we will be, we have already applied for a grant, and it's a Benefit and Health Initiatives Program grant. We, this year will be receiving amount of $2,000. This money will be used for diabetes and chronic disease prevention program that we do our educational efforts with. We're just asking that the board grant our county manager, Mr. Julian Phillips, to sign off on money coming in to go into the county budget.
Yes. I have a motion that we approve that Mr. Phillips will sign. New money is coming into corporate extension office.
Make a motion, we approve the ECU Health Roanoke General Hospital Community Benefits Grant and grant Mr. Julian Phillips, county manager, permission to sign those agreements. So that the grant funds can be dispersed.
And I have a
Second.
we proper second. We will approve Mr. Phillips to sign for the grant. Are there any questions, any discussion? If not, all in favor, known by you sign aye.
Aye.
Broadnax Taylor.
I've had motions carried. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all so much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. See,
Good evening.
Tonight, I want to bring to your attention and the citizens, once again, that Northampton has the ability to give blood to patients that need it. Last year, we have given blood. It's been administered to 3 patients. One of the 3 was successful in saving the life. Unfortunately, 2 are already in trauma cardiac arrest. We did give it a shot. You have a map, I believe, in front of you that we are the only county in the Northeast that does carry blood in their EMS department. So I come to you today, do that. Blood connection contract is up for renewal, and we would like to pursue on continuing giving blood to the citizens of need.
sir.
Absolutely needed.
I believe I highlighted the change in the last contract.
You going over with the attorney?
Sir?
Have the attorney sing this?
I don't know if he was given this or not. He did.
You have, okay. I said I have a motion. That's what you want, right? Approval. Okay, I have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move approval.
Second. Proper second, that we will have blood connection with our emergency services. Are there any questions?
I do have a question, Mr. Chairman. So, Mr. Griggs, thank you for all you do and your department and again, for being a first responder. And so when you look at that map, so I just the benefits of this. And so why so many counties don't?
I think it'd be better for me.
Clear. I mean, that's what I was thinking. I wanted to hear from the expert.
This way to answer that
Madam
question,
Vice Chair.
why do we, not why they don't? Again, we don't.
Yeah, I rephrase.
We don't have a hospital
Clear,
with really bad trauma patients. We really rely on our air transports.
clear.
Sometimes in our county, it can take a while for them to get there, who they carry blood. But we can go ahead and speed up the process.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of,
I'm clear.
science, why we need to do what we do
We won't.
to prevent, the patient from getting.
Okay, thank you, Madam Vice Chair. And that's one of the things that as a matter of fact, I said it today at the Center for Energy Education. One of the things we don't have is a hospital in Northampton County. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Griggs.
Thank you. Continue the good work. We appreciate it.
You can call for the vote.
Oh, vote, all in favor?
Aye.
I Broadnax Taylor.
I Faulkner.
Ayes have motion is carried. Thank you. I'm sorry. Okay. Let's see what we got. Economic Development Matters.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
I'll make this quick. I come before the board today with originally 4 items, but it's now down to 3 since we've had the discussion on solar farms. The first item for economic development is just wanted to announce that the county did receive the Golden Leaf Grant Award of $49,200. These funds will be used for site due diligence studies at the industrial park. So that is great news. Our
Congratulations.
goal is to promote and attract industrial companies to the county, particularly at that industrial site. At some point, the board may have to accept the award. We're just not there yet, but it has been announced. The second matter that I just wanted to make you aware of is that Mr. Phillips and I serve as evaluation members on the North Carolina DIT, Department of Information Technology, Completing Access to Broadband Committee. We have finished our evaluation and we will expect, if I'm correct, a press release next week, which is the award for internet in the county. I know citizens had questions and concerns about that. They're not here anymore, but that will be released hopefully next week. In addition to that award, so you know, that is an $8 million grant from the state. Last 2 items, we'll transition over to planning and zoning. At the last board meeting, the board requested that we revisit the zoning permit fee. I would like for the board to reconsider that, given that the department has been tasked with strenuous amount of work in terms of planning and zoning, and our fee structure is relatively low compared to other municipalities. I would like for the board to reconsider the increase of the zoning permit fee from $20 to $50. And feel free to ask any questions.
I wasn't here when this came up. So you're bringing it back because
We didn't vote for it.
you didn't vote for it. We can vote again.
Okay.
Okay. You didn't vote for, but we can vote again.
That's great.
Right?
Oh, yes, sir, Mr. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, I would not call for a vote on this again. I wouldn't be, I'm in favor of it. I know that you're gonna have, anytime you're gonna do anything with economic development, you gotta have some funds, and it's gotta cost us so much money all the permits we talking about, that people come over there to get, it's costing us. And any developer can't pay $50 for permit. I don't know what kind of developer they are. That's the business I mean. Anybody who can't pay that, they don't need to be developed, be honest with you. And the fact of it is, it's costing us more. It's gonna even cost us more in this county for people sitting in that office. There's no question about it. That's gonna be, if you look at our budget right now, majority of our budget, all the increase is going into our labor, into our people who work with us. And this is just the beginning. I will not be here perhaps, but I know that this gonna be, the next board's gonna have to deal with this even before this fiscal year is out. Even before this fiscal year is out, I say to you, we're gonna have to address, you all gonna have to address this, or we're gonna have to address this, especially with our essential people. There's nothing we can do about it. It's just delay, the lay of the land right now is that we gotta address it. And we gotta have competent people, and to get competent people, you gotta pay it. So at this time, I do ask for that to come up for another vote again. If I could get a motion on the floor.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the fee changes as presented.
Second.
All in favor of the motion changes, say aye.
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 Aye. All opposed?
Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay. Ayes have motion is carried. Continue on.
The last agenda item is related to solar farms.
Yes.
I have Reggie here from the Center for Energy Education. We've been talking extensively over the last few weeks, and the center is committed to assisting the county and guiding the county as we progress through the analysis of solar farms. Unfortunately, the citizens are no longer here, but if the board so pleases, he has a quick presentation to give us a primer on solar farms.
What I suggest to you, set up some forums in the county that you all can have the citizens and all of us can come to.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I suggest that we do, that we need to educate our citizens about solar farm. Okay, I am appreciative of you doing all this research and having it read. We've gone through it before, but please help us, because our people really don't understand about this.
Yes, first of all, Reginald Bynum, Director of Community Engagement for the Center for Education. I'm originally from the town of Halifax, not just Halifax County, born and raised, and very dedicated to our communities. I will tell you that I would like the opportunity as, first let me backtrack, how do we get involved? Citizens called us from Scotland, from Gaston, to say that they were concerned about this project. I reached out immediately weeks ago to the board, to Ms. Rodney Taylor, to say, how can we help? Unfortunately, this is a month and a half later, right? I'm just going to speak, respectfully. Everybody's out of the room. That's negative. The misunderstandings that have been said tonight, a lot of this is misunderstandings. There is state laws, U.S. goals that we should have probably covered in the beginning of this, that would have alleviated and answered a lot of questions in this that Roy Cooper has put in place. Joe Biden has five points, right, for the U.S. renewable energy plan that really could have educated the community to let them know that, hey, this isn't you guys, and really it's not you guys, but the government and the state has energy goals. In Q1 of 2024, in case people don't know, I didn't hear a lot of stats tonight, but I know, right? So in Q1 of 2024, out of 100% of electricity created, 75% of it was solar. Did we know that? No. What does that mean for our community? The jobs that are created from that, 75% is only the start of this. Every quarter, you're going to see that new energy created is coming from solar. Where does that leave us for our kids and our communities? I'm not going to go to the PowerPoint. I'm going to come back to that. Just, I'm not answering a question. I'm just making statements. We know that 25% of our kids go to college. 75% do not. Correct? Those are the stats. I work with all the superintendents and all the school boards. I work directly with them. That's my job, right? So with no vocational programs in Northampton County, Weldon City, Roanoke Rapids has them, right? But we don't have vocational programs. We don't have the brick masonry that I came up in. We don't have the woodworking, right? Right, I came up in, we don't have the right, the electric courses that we had before for a lot of our students. Weldon City does not have it. Halifax County does not have it at that scale. We have middle school CTE courses, but where does that leave our youth 30 years from now, to your point that you made earlier today? Where does that leave our youth? Because the statement that was made earlier today is 30 years, decisions we make today are based on 30 years on the road. That's what I heard earlier, right? So 30 years from now, when everyone, all of us have probably moved on to glory, right? Where does that leave our position in the space that is continuously growing across the world, right? The number one jobs coming up in the next 5 to 10 years will be solar jobs. Basic installation jobs require no degree, and it will pay them $5 more per hour. The average wage around this area is $12 per hour. The beginning wage that we heard tonight working on solar farm was $16 per hour. How would that affect our youth? We know that gas has killed off way more people, and emissions have killed way more people. Documented. We know fossil fuels no longer exist. Documented. Where is our fuel going to come from? Right? These are the things that we have to understand and have scientific people come in to speak on. There are community benefits as well that solar companies offer. I work with 14 currently. I work across the United States of America. I work in the 10 counties around here. I helped create 100 jobs for a solar farm in Scotland Neck. Documented. So I want to make sure that we're giving the proper information to the citizens. I want to arm you all because my understanding is that this deal was signed in 2017 before a lot of you all even came here. That's my research. Correct?
Yeah.
So with that being said, it is not your fault, but it is my responsibility to give the proper education so that people can receive it and they can do whatever they want to with it. Because I support, freedom of use of your land. But at the end of the day, there's another side of this that unfortunately we're a tier 1 community, right? Tier 1 community. What does that mean? Low income, high unemployment. If our kids, and I heard this the last meeting, Mr. Tyner, every year for the past 10 years, our population has decreased. Correct? How do we keep our kids here? What does our future look like 50 years from now? What jobs will they have? If the energy market is growing and we're pushing back on the energy market and fossil fuels are dead, and pretty soon in 30 years, all these oil companies will be gone away, where does that put us in position? It keeps in the same position that we're in now. Tier 1, unemployed, low income, and no future. That's my statement. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. I appreciate it. We'll be expecting to see you in the forums that we're gonna have, and we'll be there to even learn ourselves more about it.
I would like to educate you all so you can speak to your constituents, because that's what I do. We like to start with the public officials so that as you get questions, you all are armed and you won't feel bombarded or not know the answers ahead of time. But I appreciate you talking, and I really respect the work that you all do. But I'm getting a resource, and thank you very much. Have a good night.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Brown, before you leave, I just want to extend a gratitude to you and the Center of Energy Education, and you also, Mr. Bennett, for us coming together, having a conversation, because again, information is critical. And thank you so much for the components of us being able to move forward with these conversations so that we can all be informed.
Let me ask you just one more. I'm gonna let you.
Yes, sir, sure.
Will you be available at our next meeting? Okay.
Yeah.
How long is your presentation?
So my presentation, I bumped down 4 hours to 10 minutes.
Bye, see you. Good, bye. Okay.
Public official workshops should run 4 hours because you need to understand the fire and safety. We want you to understand there are economic benefits when you structure your deals properly. I've been a part of those discussions as well with rural communities and also with those. So a lot of misconceptions, now I didn't speak on them, but a lot of this is totally wrong because I work in the industry.
I know it.
So today,
Yeah.
thank you.
Question, Mr. Bonham.
Yes.
So I'm hearing you say that it's a good thing to educate the board first.
Yes, ma'am.
When can you come back?
Whenever you want me to.
And train us, the commissioners,
Yes,
first?
yes, whenever you would like me to. I serve at the pleasure of you all.
We'll have the county manager reach out to you,
Yes, ma'am.
okay?
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
One more
I'm sorry
question.
for my passion. My passion is not directed towards anyone. My passion is a passion for misinformation being spread. When I understand that we need jobs for our kids. I'm a graduate from Weldon High School. I was born, my grandfather was a pastor at First Baptist Halifax, Reverend Nelson Johnson for Battleboro for 50 years. I understand this community. I'm from here. I had to leave, work in the corporate sector to earn my 6 figures, to come back to save my money to help out here. My calling is here. This is what I do. So I've sacrificed in order, so my passion will not be hidden for my sacrifice. Thank you.
So just one quick question. So when you hear the young lady say it, what is the benefit to me?
Yes.
So we can say and tell our citizens, hey, this is a benefit.
Yeah. The benefit, as we discussed today with Sun Energy, should have been the fact that jobs should have been given. As we stated, the 56 jobs that they mentioned, out of the 89 jobs mentioned, we probably heard that half of those were menial jobs, that they were not jobs that were transferable skills that they could take from the farm and bring back to the community, such as we know we have a shortage of electricians.
Right.
Like, you get those skills, now you can work dual jobs for the county, in which we could have electricians. I work in infield. You know, we have opportunities for electric because the average age is in the 60s, right? So 20 years from now, what electricians do we have? We need transferable skills that we can allow, because the solar industry is growing so fast that people will be able to contract for multiple companies and do their job. That there will be more jobs than people in the next 5 years.
Clear.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Bond.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, appreciate it.
You hear from.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you all. Have a good night.
Night.
All right. Get out here soon.
Board members, at this time, we have the post solid waste pickup fee increase.
Board members and Ms. Itea, Mr. County Manager, Ms. Finance Officer, thank y'all for letting me come to you tonight. I hate that Ms. Mason had to leave, because Ms. Mason really helped me with some of these numbers and figures, and I appreciate the work of the tax department trying to get this. As you hopefully see before you, the revenue from this year fell short of the fees received from the citizens by $177,000 in solid waste. The fees are currently set at $210 and I think it's 86 cents a year, which is $17.57 a month. Okay, that we're paying for solid waste pickup fees. Okay, with that deficit and the number that Ms. Mason was able to give me of parcels that are paying that number, we're falling short a little over $2 a month per parcel. And with that deficit, that $17.57 a month has been that I know for 15 years, I believe, since I moved into county from the town. And Ms. Mason was able to find an ordinance that set that, I believe, from 1993. So we've not increased our fee for solid waste pickup, while the companies that do the solid waste pickup have continued to increase each year. And they use, of course, the consumer price index to set their rate, which increases anywhere from 1.5% to 7% a year. And so with the increases that we've experienced this year and with the expected CPI increase of next year, we're gonna fall short again. And, my recommendation or my request is that we increase the solid waste fee $2.43, bringing it to a total of $20 a month.
Would that assure us that we will not have a deficit at the end of the year?
To my best knowledge, they do not let us know what their CPI index increase is going to be until usually August or September. They didn't last year anyway. And so, but based on their last year's increases, I have assumed the increase that is there before you, using their historical CPI index increase.
Either we want service, and I love it. You can take your trash, place it in your car, in your truck, place trash all down the road. I know because I'm right over there near Hertford County, and I even see yours over there in the Gates County. I just think if we are making any money, it's what's charging. That's what
And just thank you so much, Mr. Turner. And when you look at, a lot of conversation about information tonight. And so when you look at the proposed increase, so what's the best way for us to get this information out? If this board goes this direction? I'm just saying.
Well, we have our county website that we can
Sure.
put that on. We can, of course, use the newspaper.
I just want to preference, I'm definitely for it, okay? And then, of course, when, just like anybody open that bill, and then they're gonna say, where did they go up on the solid waste?
And I understand, I do understand.
And I think,
that.
I'm sorry.
I do understand that.
Right.
And I do know that solid waste is in a deficit this year, and they're in a deficit, and they're in great need.
Understood.
Solid waste has great need.
And understood. And so just out of the information, and so when you say, Mr. Phillips, help me with this, and Ms. Turner. So when you say we're going to go up on the solid waste, is it any way we can say, hey, here are the facts? This is what it costs for your solid waste. This is what the proposed increase is. And now everybody has information in the next billing statement.
We can submit, I don't want to speak for Ms. Mason, okay? I don't want to speak for her, but
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, Mr.
Tax Department may be able to send out
Sure.
notification of that.
Mhm.
However, I would say that all these passionate citizens that were here earlier had the same ability to stay, and it was on the agenda in their hand. And I'm not trying to be flippant. I'm just stating that they had the same opportunity to stay as these.
I think we'll go, we will notify the citizens. We'll get a way to get it out there. Do it the old fashioned way, we'll mail it.
Understood.
We'll do what we need to do so that everyone is notified.
Right, and thank you, Mr. Turner.
We don't want to get that
in the spirit,
situation.
So we can just avoid the information component.
Want to be
Because what we did here tonight, and you is that, well, the citizens that were here, because we did not hear from everybody. Let's be clear, and I do never want to generalize. But what we did hear from several citizens that were here that they did not receive this information. So when we say, hey, here's the increase, and when will they know the increase, not the tax time? I'm just saying. So let's eliminate all the barriers of information.
That's right.
Unload and let's load them with information.
It'll cost us more in the long run if we don't notify.
Right.
Clear.
Whatever communication y'all need to do, let's do it. Make sure they got it. Newspaper.
And
And we have some, would you have water bills going out?
Well, keep in mind that this is in no way related to the water department.
right.
We can,
Have everybody's address. That's what I'm saying, Mr. Martin. Yeah.
Okay.
Put it on a postcard.
I'm just saying a way of
List
getting
me a
it out to
postcard.
everybody. That's all.
Right, a lot cheaper. Just am I making, this, I'm just wanna just share the information that I didn't know y'all went up on the solid waste fee. Cause it won't be discussed till we get them, it will be discussed then.
That's right. They'll be back next.
And they'll be back here. When did y'all go up on the proposed tax bill?
Board members, can I get a motion from you that we would increase it $2.43 per month? That we will inform the citizen.
I just got a question, Ms. Mick. So when do we, like I said, I'm for it, Ms. Turner. So this is nothing related to the budget that we have, that we just voted on, correct? Because this is an increase. Right. And so is a way we can get the information out and then come back? Just asking a question. Because if we vote on it and it's yes, then boom, it happens. I'm just asking a question.
I have no problem with giving.
Your expertise, Ms. Turner, I'm just,
Let people know that we plan to recommend the increase because of the deficit that we have or because the increase is needed. I have no problem. You tell me how y'all want to do it.
and there again, I don't want to speak out of my lane.
Understood.
Okay. I believe that Ms. Mason would
Mhm.
need to know before the end of this fiscal year for it to be on the tax bill for.
I'm clear.
Okay.
I'm clear.
We can get with her
All right.
because I know that there is a timeline that she needs to prepare those
Sure.
bills to get it ready to be mailed out. So
And I
Can
do
find
believe
out.
that we can get a mailing out of information.
Mhm.
I do believe that can be done fairly quickly.
I'm clear.
Yeah, the next meeting.
that's what I was gonna.
Right, and I say, when we start talking budget season, and just like moving forward next year, when we find out, let's go ahead and talk about it, because just like talking about the Severn and Conway tonight, it's 3 days to deadline.
And this issue is just a heads up. The issue is gonna come up again because
Sure it is.
in about a month or
fuel
so,
costs?
we're gonna put out a request for proposal.
I got it.
This contract ends at the end of this fiscal year coming up.
For GFL?
Yes.
So we want to get proposals back January, February in time for the next budget to be considered. So whatever that price is gonna go into effect the next budget.
I'm clear. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Mr. Phillips.
Make sure I'm clear. I'm not clear. We're going to inform the citizens that this is what we plan to do. What we need to do is do it that July 1st will be here. And do we need to move on it tonight? We can wait.
I can get more information from Miss Mason in the morning. And then if need be, we can bring it back on the next meeting. We're meeting in a couple of weeks.
Would there be enough time? Would it? Would that meet the requirements of the law?
I'm not sure, Mr. Tyner. I really am not. I'm gathering some information from earlier tonight that we talked about the tax increase would have to be done by this fiscal year, is what I heard in for the fire districts. And so I don't know how that relates necessarily to this, that would not affect this. Okay.
Jamie has to get these bills. And I think last year she got bills out by August, September. So as long as she has time to get the information in the bill.
And we should have time to inform the customers
Right.
about the need and then before the bills go out, correct?
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Not good news, but it's news.
But necessary.
That's right. We got to deal with all of it. So we're gonna wait till our next meeting. We'll ask our clerk to make sure that we place it on our next meeting, our next. Okay? Financial matters.
Good evening, everyone. I will be presenting two budget amendments for your consideration on this evening. Budget Amendment 99 is on behalf of Emergency Management.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Ms. Walker. I just want a clarifying question. Thank you. Just one second. I said, excuse me. So are we tabling this, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
The proposed
Yes.
increase?
Table it to the next, what's the next meeting?
That's what I'm saying. I didn't hear us table it.
Take for July.
July 15th.
July
Okay.
15th.
I'm clear.
You gotta make a motion to table it to that specific date.
Clear. Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Mr. Chairman, I move that we table the proposed solid waste pickup fee increase to our next Board of Commissioners meeting on July the 15th.
Second.
Move proper second, table it to July 15th. Increase. I didn't question. Not all in favor, no, let it be known, but you sign aye.
Aye.
I, Broadnax Taylor.
I Faulkner.
I have.
Sorry, Ms. Walker. Thank you.
Then no, we
Thank you.
make a motion on that.
I'm sorry, this was on the agenda.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead. Okay, thank you. I will first be presenting budget amendment number 99 on behalf of our Emergency Management Department. This is for grant funding received in the amount of $19,073.11. My second amendment is budget amendment number 100. That is also on behalf of the Emergency Management Department. This is also grant funding received in the amount of $1,400. And there is documentation behind each budget amendment to support the revenue received. And that concludes my information for tonight.
Hey, board member, for it's your pleasure that we would accept those budget amendments that are given to us. All of them are increases.
Make a motion, we approve 99 and 100 as presented.
Have a second.
Second.
We stop the second to give. Approve the amendments is given. All in favor, that known by you, you sign aye.
Aye.
I, Broadnax Taylor.
I Faulkner.
I've had motion is carried.
Thank you.
Okay. We have on our agenda now, county manager, anything?
I don't have anything additional. Thank those of you who are left for coming out. We really appreciate you.
It's been 2 hours and 43 minutes. I don't have anything else to say. Thank you, everybody, for coming out.
Just thank everybody for coming out.
I would like to say I attended the First Responders Family Day last weekend.
Nice.
It was a really fine event, extremely hot.
Yeah.
So I didn't stay but a couple hours, but but it was a really nice event. And I'm glad that we did that.
Wonderful.
My daughter's an EMT.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Commissioner.
Thank everyone for tuning in, and for those that did come, I just want to remind everyone that July 13th is the first Liberation Day celebration for the county being held in Rich Square.
So hopefully you all are able to come out and celebrate with the citizens of our county for what's the equivalent of the Texas Juneteenth. July 13th is Northampton County's. July 10th is the official day, but that falls during the week, July 13th.
Thank you for saying that.
I have a question. With the attorney not being present, what do we do? Do we go into closed session? He's absent?
You're gonna have a quote.
Okay. Okay.
I do have one announcement, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes.
There's as you know, we talked about blood this evening, and there's a Dr. Charles Drew blood drive at Roanoke Salem Baptist Church this Saturday, June the 29th, from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. A blood drive at Roanoke Salem Baptist Church from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. this Saturday. Thank you.
Any other commissioners? Thank all of you for coming. I have no remarks tonight. Thank you. At this time, could I have a motion that we go into closed?
Make a motion, we go into closed session for General Statute 143, 318, 11A6 personnel, and 11A4 EDC reports. Mr. Attorney is not here. Guess we don't have to do the attorney-client privilege.
I have a second.
Second.
Proper second, we go into closed session. All in favor, nobody use sign aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Ayes have, motion is carried. Thank you so much.